So give me 1 second. I want to close the door. So it's late March 2024. I want to say it's the 28th, 29th. It's Friday. 28th, maybe. I don't know. I lost track of time. I've lost complete track of time. So the boat, for the ones that care, real quick, the boat has the motor on it. I think the ship linkage fell off, so it slipped off of the coupling, so I have to reconnect that. I had to go to Walmart and purchase for $8.50 some silicone sealant from Starbright. Right? I know that I would personally, if I had the money and or the time to wait for it, I mean, I have the time. If I had a way of finding it locally here in my local market in Orlando without having to go through Amazon and pay a premium, because I hate to tell you guys, Amazon sometimes, they'll sell things that you can't find at your local hardware store for 10 to 15% higher than retail. They'll still charge you taxes, so it's not like you're saving any money there. But luckily, I was able to find that silicone sealant that's marine grade, so I can go ahead and let me backtrack a bit. So now that I have all this work done to the boat where it's all one piece, I have to disassemble a little because I got carried away. I mounted the jack plate. I mounted the outboard to the jack plate. And now I have to disassemble the outboard from the jack plate and the controls. Disassemble the jack plate, remove it off the boat altogether because I forgot to paint the area where I glassed over a couple of weeks ago before I mounted the jack plate. So now I have to go ahead and remove the jack plate to do all this stuff. Now that I have the silicone, when I remount the jack plate after the paint dries, in the next day or two, it'll get bonded to the boat. And then the rim around that pad for the plywood will get a newer coat of resin. No, it won't. It doesn't need it. It's already encapsulated 3 coats in, so I'm good. I'll put the outboard back on. Once the outboard is back on, I will then secure everything and start working on the linkage for the shifter. The controls are already mounted to the board that's gonna hold it on the starboard side of the boat, which is the right side of the boat. Looking at it from the transom or the stern of the boat forward, it's on the right side. I got great news. Last week I was approached by a recruiter to apply for, that I had applied for a technical team lead for an MSP. And I went in and just was myself, like I always am with my interviews. And the director of technology loved what I had to say and my experience and everything. So I went ahead and was moved over to the second interview the following day, which is a little weird because it all lined up for me, right? So I had a great conversation with their service delivery manager and their senior cloud engineer, and we sat around and talked about my experience and what I've been doing for the last 5 to 10 years of my career, and things of that nature. I scratched myself, so I'm just checking my back, making sure I'm not bleeding through my shirt. I'm pretty sure I am bleeding through the shirt, but besides that, it's not that big of a deal. So they extended the offer. which I accepted because I've been out of work now for about 5 months, and my shallow pool of resources is a sandbar, unfortunately. But I went to my local Walmart today. I just trying to get out of the house and do things for my son. We did the library, saw my mother-in-law. Even though the boat, once it's complete, won't need these. These are 4.5 inch boat fenders, right? And I'm gonna not mount is not the right word. I'm going to tie them horizontally to the boat, so that way whenever I come up to the dock when I'm docking, so I don't scratch the paint. My $20 paint can. I paid $1.50, so these were $1.50 at Walmart. They were on clearance, so I got 2 of them for $3. I paid $8 for the silicone, and it's a win-win because now I have these suckers, and eventually when the boat's ready to go in the water, I don't have to worry about needing to have any kind of bumper guards. A good friend of mine, David, shout out to David, he purchased this stuff. This is a fishing ruler, right? He bought it on Amazon, and he thought he was buying one, and it was actually a 2-pack. So he gave me this for the boat, and it fairly works because the boat has a red and white theme to it. And then I was thinking about putting that decal ruler on the front bench, but then after realizing that's where the speakers are going to go for the stereo system that's going to go in the boat, that's not going to be a good thing to be there. So that'll probably get mounted to the rear bench where the captain's going to sit at, which is me, or whoever's driving the boat's going to sit at. So that way it's I'm going to use it's not going to go to waste. But the boat that I'm currently working on, which is my boat, came with a slab of starboard that was covering the rear bench, right? So I told David that I was going to start working on making a cutting board for both our boats. He's got a boat, I've got a boat. I figured 18-inch cutting boards, 18 by 10 is enough for like filleting or cutting bait. And then if he wants to mount his boat on a swivel stand, he could do that. But yeah, so this relieves a lot of pressure. I start working in the first full week of April, so I started on the 8th, which means I have roughly 2 weeks to go before I start work, and which also means I have 2 weeks left to get the boat assembled before my days become more difficult to work. However, once I have the first 2 checks coming in, they already have names. My truck broke down, so I need to get that fixed ASAP because I don't have a car now. And technically, even though I'm going to be working remote, I don't really need to have a car, but we have house things to do and projects and kids activities, and we normally use my vehicle for that. So that needs to get fixed. And then house expenses like child support, mortgage, not rent, but the mortgage, and things have to get covered. Will come out of the second paycheck. But after that, on a semi-monthly basis, I'll probably be pushing out a video. Because I want to have the roof done of the shed insulated and clad with thermal shielded OSB by no later than May, end of May, because summers are brutal here in Central Florida. And yesterday it was in the high 70s, low 80s. Today it's and this only happens in March, which is our springtime. So it was hot as balls yesterday. It gets really hot and humid. And then today I woke up, it was like mid 60s, and it's been pleasant today. It'll be staying that way, so I can't really do a whole lot of fiberglassing because unfortunately it won't cure. However, once the it gets warmer, like towards the end of April, or midway through April, or something to get warmer, and it'll stay above 70 at night. The fiberglass should cure in the daytime and be good to go after that. So I want to get my ducks in a row, get some 1-by material, so that I can actually I have some 1-by material looking up here, so I can make a frame for the deck that's going to go into the boat. And then once I have that deck installed with the stringers and the 2 bolt cuts per sections of the boat that are going to go all the way out to the chines, I'll probably clad it with 3/8 or 5/8 plywood. This is going to be encapsulated in resin. And I don't need a whole lot, right? Because the section of boat between the front of the rear bench and the rear of the middle bench is maybe 4 feet. And it's not 6 feet long. Or wide, so it's about 4 feet wide, and maybe a 4-foot square could sit there, but I also have that helm to cut around. Then the next segment is maybe 3 feet or so long, and about 3.5, 4 foot to 3.5 where it tapers towards the bow. And then the bow area has another, that's going to get a different platform setup altogether. But yeah, I want to get the boat water ready by the end of April, midway through May. But the hard line would be May, because come June, things can get a little hectic for me. My son, not for me, but for my son. My oldest is graduating high school in June. He's turning 18, and he's enlisting into the Navy. So I want to go ahead and have a nice shindig at our house, so we can celebrate his scholastic accomplishments, plus him shipping off for boot camp, and be there for him and do certain things that I want to do for him before he heads out for that aspect of things. For right now, I'm going to cut the video off right here, but I'm very excited about the new job. Can't wait for the 8th. I have some money on set aside, just a little bit of money. Nothing in cash, it's all credit, unfortunately, that I've started to use for these little details on the boat. I have paintbrushes. I have leftover 3/4 of a can of paint from when I painted the boat. I'll use that. The only thing I had to come out of pocket today was for the fenders, $3 for the fenders, $8 for the silicone. All the other hardware I already have. Aside from that, I've been debating on whether or not I should paint the mount for the throttles with flat white. However, I want to have a pop of color of naturalness to the boat, so I'm debating on whether or not I should keep that control mount in that whatchamacallit, encapsulated wood color, like this. See, like that. Make it look that amber resonated wood. Another keynote that I'm looking to do is I'm looking to sell my benchtop belt sander. I have about 10 or so belts left for it since I bought the belt kit for it. I got it a few years ago. I haven't used it. I'm getting tired of plugging it from one side of my small shop, which you guys can see that corner. That's the corner right there, and then the corner is right about there. It's very small. It's a 10 by 12, as you guys have known from years of watching my videos. I work out of a shed. So my projects are for the shed, complete the insulating the ceiling, clad it with 7/16 thermal reflective OSB. I'll need about a couple of sheets of that, maybe 6 or so sheets to do the roof, plus maybe $100 to $200 worth of installation to do that. Then after about the end caps, the triangles, because it's I think it's a 4-pitch roof, right? So I gotta do where the vents are, and then the boat. I want to finish the boat ASAP so I can get it in the water. And once that's ready for the water, I'm gonna hire out someone to widen the gate from 5 to 6 feet, which a foot's not a lot, but if you would have seen the struggle that I had to go through to get the boat into the backyard, having to turn it sideways and then push it and then go in and out of the house because no one was here to help me. And that was before I started to build the boat, and that's now going to be a shit ton heavier now that it has 300 pounds of between outboard, jack plate. It'll have the gas tank, batteries, and everything else. I won't be able to turn on its side to get it out, so I need that gate to be about a foot wider to have more room for passing it in and out. I also eventually have to replace the leaf springs on the trailer. They're rusty but functional for right now. I'm just trying to get it on the water because I want to go fishing. I want to go on a lake and turn it on and enjoy the boat because I want my son to have that like I had that growing up. What else? That's it for now. Thank you for watching Leo Builds It. I love you guys. Bye.